kind of ghetto ass YouTube channel are you running here, Mike? We went ahead and got this guy done. So our turbo manifold guy is done. There's a bit of a gap on one of this side, like maybe a 16th or an H, because I didn't have 4 bolts. I should have put 4 bolts on, but I thought I had it. The turbo bolted all the way down. It was actually touching the inner fender, which I don't think is going to be a problem. I think I can just beat. I was planning on beating the inner fender where the turbo sits in anyway, because there's a ton of room there to be gained. So we'll take a look and just see how it does. I can always remake the downpipe. I'm halfway thinking about remaking the downpipe in titanium, just because this thing weighs about 300 pounds. this guy is a beast. So I know you're like, but Mike, you had the whole bottom of this thing chewed up with horrible spot welds. We're not focusing. Why aren't we focusing? So this was the one that was all pockmarked here. And you can see we actually, I don't know why we can't focus. It doesn't want to focus, but we actually got it dressed up pretty nice. And so that guy is done. Or as close as we're getting, and it did go in and out of the car without me having to pull the engine out, which is spectacular. I would have liked to have left the water pump and the air compressor, the air conditioner compressor in the car and be able to pull this in and out, but that wasn't possible. It's always a process of compromises to try to get everything to fit and work and do what it's supposed to do. So this guy's done. I need to finish up the downpipe, and I really don't know what I need. I've been so concentrated on doing this. I think once this is in, then we start working on putting everything back in, doing the wiring, doing the AC lines, the heater hose lines, get all that stuff mocked up before we pull everything back out to retouch up the engine, check our drains, our turbo drains, our oil plumbing, make sure that we have enough for everything to work, pull it out, clean everything up, put it all back for final assembly. So what do you guys think? Should we do a titanium downpipe? I hate to waste all that metal I have, but I won't really waste it because I'll just put it in my pile of stuff for future. And yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we got it done. But don't be judgmental. I know that you guys may or may not have projects on jack stands that have been there for years too. So, you know, let those who don't live in glass houses cast stones. All right, so back in we go. Everything is looking not half bad. I mean, you know, it's always 2 steps forwards and 1 step backwards. That's just the fab life. It's that fab life. This guy is done what we wanted to. Like I said, we did weld the top because I was hoping to pull my downpipe down is what I was kind of shooting for. But what actually happened was the downpipe went up. So we are now in full contact with this back wall right here. Let's see if it's better vision. No, horrible. But it's just barely touching. So we have a couple options. One is we break the tacks right here. We take about a 1/2 inch off of that and weld it back on there, and that solves this touching problem. Or we make the whole downpipe again in titanium. The good thing is by the time this video posts up, I'll have already been past this part and so over making that thing out of titanium. So yeah, I'll probably just shorten it a little bit. But titanium would be kind of cool. And here comes the next thing. I've been so focused, like, you know how you lay in bed at night and you think about your build and you're like, all right, gotta do this, gotta do that. You're thinking about all the problems, everything that's running into everything, and you're like solving problems, right? You're going through your mind. This is what we do, and that's why this is a semi-fun sometimes kind of hobby, is the problem-solving aspect. So I haven't really problem solved past getting the turbo in the car. That's been my big hurdle for a while now. It is Christmas Day, so I'm hoping everybody's having a Merry Christmas. It sure looks like everybody's having a good Christmas, and that's good. It's well deserved. from us all having suffered a year of so much tremendous bullshit. So, good to see everybody out there having fun on Christmas. I'm in here having fun on Christmas. I think what I'm going to do is just start bolting stuff back on, just like I'm finishing the car. And that way, it'll give me time to think as I mindlessly bolt accessory drives and stuff back on, and I'll start problem solving through the do we go to the wiring next, the wiring harness, the stuff for the Terminator X, start getting it through laid out. Do we finish off the air conditioning, finish up running these hoses, getting the evaporator unit installed underneath the dash, that stuff. Figuring out my oiling for the turbo, figuring out my oil return for the turbo. All of these things are things that we have to do in order to get it back on the road. That was a big hurdle. So I think of all the stupid stuff I have done, and completely redoing the turbo system, although I had a working vehicle, is one of the dumber things. I'm pretty happy about having access to spark plugs. So that's amazing. We have to figure out the heater hose lines for this guy, the pump, and I'll show you something I've been up to. I ripped the back cover off of one of these pumps. This is the pump that came with the engine. This is a van pump, I guess. It's a little weird, like the pump offset is over. But anyway, yeah, I ripped the bottom off just so I could track down where all these tubes go. And it's a good enough representation of what we are going to be doing. So what I'm going to do is, we're definitely relocating this guy here. Going to go ahead and drill it and probably put it so it's coming out of here, going pretty much straight up. And I think we're going to do the same thing over here. We don't have this guy on our, but we do have the air conditioner sits in that area. So I need to see what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do, I do believe, is just put two -8s, which are 1/2-inch hoses. If you actually look at the water passages on these guys, they're not really that big. So I don't know that knocking it down just by a hair is going to make that big of a difference in a car that's going to be in Texas anyway. So I don't know how much heat I'm going to need, but I think the 8 will be just a little bit easier to run through the engine bay. Bob's trying to commit suicide again. Suicide by Mike. Okay, so we're here. We got this guy chucked up, and we've just drilled a hole. You get these guys in sets. So this is a 3/8 tap set, and it comes with I don't think that's it, but it comes with a bit and a tap, which usually work halfway decent. So what I was going to do is weld these guys on there, and I sell these little 3/8 to 6 or 8 AN adapters. Actually, I got all the sizes you'd ever need on that. But the problem, what I wanted to point out is, it's that old premise of, if your only tool is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And if you're a welder, then you tend to just think like, oh, I'll weld this. But this is going to be a pain in the ass. If you really look at it here, I got to put this bung on this bad boy. It goes in here. Oh, is it not gonna? Okay, well, you get the point. Ow. So we put the bung on this guy right here, and now I got to weld all the way around it with this tab in the way and that in the way. And well, I can't get it, and this old ass cast aluminum is going to weld like ass no matter what. I said, well, why don't you just drill it, tap it, and put it in PT. Why not just drill it, tap it, and stick an NPT fitting in there, Mike? You don't have to weld everything. We'll still pull these guys out and weld those up, and we're still going to have to do something about welding this guy. But, yeah, we'll just tap these guys, and we'll just smash them in there. That'd be easy for someone else to replicate if the car gets sold and someone needs to replicate it in the future. So, don't make every problem your specialty's problem. Branch out, find new areas. to get annoyed with, like trying to tap cast aluminum. Okay, we got all right, we got our metal chunks out of the water pump, and we are tappied. So now we just need to figure out the main water feed and then weld stuff up. So you can you see those? Yeah, you can see those fittings. So those fittings are going to be our heater, and they're just going to come straight up, over, and back. We'll weld up that little spot where the old pieces used to be. We won't have to worry about the exhaust pipe heat affecting that at all. And now you guys see we got this guy here on this plane. So what I'm thinking about doing is maybe trying to do some like sheet metal origami and putting a bung on one side of it and welding it onto there, so we can just kind of point it, and then we'll just use a piece of AN hose to connect the two, is my thoughts. Water pump. Okay, here is what we've come up with. So we got that guy there, and I've thought of many things to do it, and I have straight fittings and 45s and all this stuff. What I'm going to do, what we've done is we've taken a regular -16 bung that I sell. All these are for sale on the website, monkeyfabgarage.com. But we have cut this more than half. So we got probably an 1/8 inch land left on it. So we just lost a bunch of height there. And you'll see we're almost, can you see? We're almost clearing the belt now. Now this guy is way up. This guy right here is probably a good 1/2 inch tall. So what I'm thinking to do is we'll just trim that guy down, and then this will fit up underneath that belt. And if I can do this, can I do this? I can't do it without falling. But what will end up happening is that will be a relatively straight shot to the radiator. I found again, I sell these fittings on the website. So this is just the DAX 16 to a 1 5/16 ORB fitting, and that will go underneath the belt and clear everything. So that's what we're going to do, is we're just going to shave a little bit off there and weld that guy right to the top of there, that 16 bung on the top there. Close up the holes that we have down on the side for the heater, and the water pump will be done. That'll be one less thing to worry about. God forbid someone buys this car and anything needs to be replaced, because you're totally screwed. This is good, like what do you call it, job security. I sell this car, they'll have to bring it back to have anything done, because everything is custom made. Buy a Fox body. It's funny how the things that you always dread turn out to be not nearly as bad as you thought they would be, and then the things that you're like gladly go waltzing into turns into a shit show like immediately. But I was really dreading messing. Like I was really, when I was setting this guy up, I was like, oh god, so I should probably come up with a better solution. But this was the best solution I had, was this pipe running through. There's no room between the K-member and this engine. I mean, everything is, we got the suspension. This is how it had to be. So this guy had to be modded, and it was really pretty simple. I didn't even cut out a piece. I just kind of did the old gap fill with some I used 4043, I think it's called, to do this guy. It's just I use that usually for cast. It tends to do a little bit better. Yeah, we just cut that guy down and welded these guys up, put these guys in, so our hot water out, our cold water in kind of deal going on there. So we welded that bung, we cut that bung off, and here is, besides what was cut out, that's the height that came out of the pump. So it is, I'll tell you exactly what it is, because I have a caliper. I own a caliper. How accurate it is, that's another question altogether. What are we at? So 3/4 of an inch we took out of there. Probably a little bit more, because you know, you also got the layer that you cut out that is not going to be on there. It's just going to be dust underneath the belt sander. And I do need to buy some more Sawzall blades because my Sawzall blades have been smoked. So I have no idea if this is going to work or fit, but I wanted to show you how we did it, how we welded these guys right in and put the bung on the top. And now we'll bolt it in and see, did we win or is it back to the drawing board? Have positive thoughts. Do me one favor. Think positive thoughts. Put this guy on. See how it works. I know you guys like to see me fail. It's almost like the spectator sport, but let's see. Let's see if we can get some win today.